Welcome back to Oracle Card Reading for Beginners. This is part 2. I hope you enjoy this video and please take a second right now to like this video, put a comment below. It really helps my channel and it takes 2 seconds. Answer me the question, what Oracle deck are you working with and loving right now? Thank you so much and let's get on to part 2. Choosing the right Oracle deck can be a little overwhelming. If you go to Amazon, for example, and type in Oracle deck, you're going to get thousands upon thousands of results. So in part 2, we are going to talk about how to choose the right deck, and it's the right deck for you, and what happens if you pick the wrong one. Picking the right deck is like picking a good buddy. It's someone that is going to go with you throughout life's journey. And for sure, you're going to evolve and change, and you may find that your tastes for decks change as well. But you want to have a deck that is going to resonate with you where you're at right now, so it can help you and meet you where you are. While there isn't really no right or wrong way to pick a deck, so I'm going to bust that right now, and picking the wrong deck, there's really no such thing if you follow the rule of, does this resonate with me? Am I drawn to this deck? Do I want to work with it? Is it speaking to me on some level? And if you answer yes to those things, ding, 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 you have won the deck lottery. There you have it. You have the right deck. But here are some guidelines that I put together for you so that, you know, if you don't know really where to start, you have a place to go. The first tip is to please connect with the artwork. You are going to be staring at this artwork all the time. Make sure you find it beautiful or intriguing or something that you want to explore. Now, you may find that the Oracle deck that is really calling to you has art that you may not necessarily love. It may not be artwork that you would hang on your wall at home, but it is speaking to you. Follow that instinct. It means that there is something inside you, those symbols or the resonance of that art is trying to speak to you, but you need to connect to that art on some level to get the most out of your deck. The second thing to consider is the theme and content. Some Oracle decks are going to come with big, chunky books for you to read and to really dive into. Some are going to be more lean. Some themes are going to be themes that you really feel drawn to, and others you're like, yeah, nah, not for me. So really knowing the theme and content is going to help you out a lot. Choose what you're interested in, and a lot of Oracle cards and decks are going to be pretty across the board, so they won't especially have like a theme like this is for this kind of reading and this is for that kind of reading, but definitely look at what is put into the deck. So I'm going to give you an example of some of the ways that decks can differ when it comes to content. Besides the number of cards in the deck, I'm going to show you 2 different guidebooks and why it's good to know what's in the guidebooks before you purchase the deck. So I have 2 guidebooks here. One is for the Love Who You Are deck, and this is a new deck that has come out from US Game Systems, and the other one is from my Awakened Soul Oracle. And I'm going to show you the differences in here and why it's important. So if we have a look at the guidebook for this deck, which is the Love Who You Are, you have about a paragraph of writing. The text is really big, so it makes it really easy to read, but there is about that much information when it comes to the card meanings. So if you really want to go deep with the meanings, this may not be the deck for you. Now, I know this is a little smaller, but when it comes to my Awakened Soul Oracle, there is a lot. There is key symbols, keywords, the story of the artwork, the meaning, the shadow meaning, the affirmation, and a personal reflection for each one. So this means you can work with this deck and each one of these cards in lots of different ways. Now, I'm not the only creator who has written quite big books. There's a lot of them. But just knowing what's in there in regards to the theme and how you're going to work with them can really help your decision-making process. The third thing to consider is the ease of understanding. Now, I will give you an example. I'm not going to go out and buy an oracle deck that is all about sacred geometry and ascended masters that I have no clue on, because I, first of all, don't know all that much. I know a little bit about sacred geometry, but the math behind it might just like completely take me out of connecting with that deck rather than really leaning into it. Are the messages clear? Do you need a keyword that is just like, this means stop, this means go, this has one keyword that has affirmation on it, whereas this has a whole prose or a line? Like, understand what you need for your ease of interpretation, because that's going to really help you make your choice again. The fourth thing to consider is the purpose and the use you're going to have for your deck. If you're looking for a specific reason to have the deck, so if you want to do deep shadow work, then there are decks for that. And I'm going to show you in part 3 some of my recommendations on different decks for different themes. Do you want an all-rounder deck? Are you going to be looking at this for helping you write a play or a book? Looking at the reason why you're using your deck is going to help you make that decision. Trust your intuition. That is my 5th thing to consider. Out of everything else, you can ignore anything else on this list, but do not ignore the importance of your intuition. It is going to ensure that you make the right decision. And really, there is no wrong decision when you trust your gut and you trust your inner knowing. My 6th consideration is looking at reviews and recommendations. So you can look on YouTube for recommendations, you can look at reviews on Amazon. Just be aware, sometimes on Amazon they have reviews about how the package was handled, and that's not the creator's fault. I really enjoy YouTube flip throughs or just having a look on social media if people's tags on those decks to get an idea of what is included. So it's a more of like before you buy, sort of a bit of a market research before you jump in, and reviews and recommendations will help you find decks that you never would have thought of as well. And the 7th consideration is physical interaction. If you can go into a shop that has sample decks, go do that. Take the time to travel if you can to a local metaphysical shop or witchy shop. Call them, make sure they let you actually touch the decks, because not all shops will do that. But a lot of them will have the decks there, so you can pick them up, you can shuffle them, you can look through them, you can see what's in the guidebook. Actually touching those decks is going to help you, because not all cardstock's the same, not all lamination is the same, not all finish is the same, and having that physical interaction is going to really help you make that choice. Remember, there really is no wrong choice. If you've bought a deck and you no longer resonate with it, gift it to someone or sell it on a marketplace. If you thought you were going to like it but didn't, that's okay as well. But when you trust your intuition and you go from a place of like, show me which deck that, you know, I'm meant to get, and you trust that gut feeling, then you're going to pick the right one. I'm going to answer a burning question. And the question is, how many decks do I need? Well, how long is a piece of string? Now, I have been reading the cards since I was a wee thing. So over the 25 years of my reading experience, I have amassed quite a collection, but that's because it's taken 25 years to do so. You can just have one deck your entire life, and that is more than fine. You may find that me saying 12 oracle decks seems like a lot to you. You may think that 30 is a great place to have your collection. But I do recommend that you make sure that this is something you want to invest in before you go and buy too many decks. But work with the deck for a little while and see. I mean, honestly, for many of us, it becomes a collection thing and we just love the different artworks and interpretations. But never, ever, ever break the bank collecting decks. It's not worth any financial ruin to get your hands on decks. It's just not. Have a look at Facebook Marketplace. Have a look at your secondhand bookstores. There's lots of ways you can go about getting something for a good price. And often big publishers will have sales. But starting with one and keeping one is pretty much all you need. Oracle card pop quiz. What is the one kind of wrong oracle deck? I'm going to give you a second. If you said counterfeit, pirated, stolen decks from shitty websites, you are correct. Ding, ding, ding. Go directly to Go. These are a problem, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why they're a problem, how you can spot these fakes, because these are fake decks, counterfeit decks, stolen decks, the sites that are the worst, and how you can make sure you do not get caught by these scammers. So this is how you're going to tell if a deck that you've purchased or you're looking at in a shop is a fake or a rip-off. Now, unfortunately, the good old days are gone where you could go into a shop and pretty much guarantee that the thing is going to be the real thing, because they're everywhere now. So this is really, really important. I'm going to start with my deck. I confiscated this pirated copy from the shop that was selling it, and they have since not put it back on the shelf, which is good, because I would slap them with a do not cease and desist very, very quickly. People have been saying they really like the size of this though, so if you want a pocket size, or we can sell Oracle, let me know. Maybe there could be something. But the first thing you're going to notice is the size. Okay, so this is my original. This is the deck. This is the ripoff. This is the pirated copy. As you can see, the colors are not as saturated and the edges aren't as sharp either. But the box is just a plain tuck box. The next big thing you're going to notice is that there's all these QR codes. And these QR codes go to this website. I'm going to show you this website later on, and you're going to see what happens when you go to this website. So my box is a lovely clamshell, fully printed box. This is a tuck box. Okay. There's no guidebook. That's going to be your next thing to look for. So my deck comes with a full guidebook. And this one comes with nada. As I said, the size is different. There is no gilding on the pirated copy. I'm going to see, and as you can see, like the colors are just like so. That's my copy, and this is the rip-off. Like the colors are so muted. I'm actually going to see whether this is an old version or a new version they've got, because I redid a bunch. Oh no, it is. So they got the new one. This is how they get them is they scan the cards in. I wanted to show you one more because I'm not the only one who is this is happening to. It's happening to everybody. This is a rock pool deck. Now, I know this has Goddess Love and Goddess Dream, but I couldn't find my Goddess Dream. I do have it. This is the rock pool publishing one. Okay, so you'll see there's no publisher on the back here. Okay, there's that QR code. Although there was one that I got. Well, I didn't get it, but I confiscated it. With no QR code, but this is also stolen. So be careful of that as well. Like there's nothing on here. There's no person's name. There's no nothing. That is a telltale sign. So there's no rock pool here. Again, we have a beautiful box. Full color guidebook. No, lovely cards with the rich imagery. Okay, then we look at this monstrosity. And remember that no one gets paid but the scammers and the people who sell it when the pirates, right? So the wrong people are getting paid with this. And I call bullshit to anyone who says they don't know that these are fake, because give me a break. Okay, so and again, it's dull.
These are going in the recycling because I'm not going to be participating. No guidebook, nothing. So that's some of how you can tell. Let's go on the computer and I'll show you what you need to look out for when it comes to online shopping and what is actually on that page. These are the websites you shouldn't buy Oracle decks from. This is Temu. All of this is counterfeit. So stolen. This is Shein. Also all counterfeit. So all stolen work. Artists who spent years, authors who spent years creating this, not getting a cent. AliExpress, all stolen. These are all fake, stolen, counterfeit decks. No one's getting anything either. Shein, also all counterfeit decks. And I want to call bullshit on anyone who says it's cheap, so I'm just going to get it and feel okay about it. It's like, well, let me come to your work and make you work for a couple of years for free and then see how you feel about it. I've just seen some really shitty conversations online about it, people feeling like they don't care. Don't buy from fucking Walmart. Like, I cannot believe that this is now happening on Walmart. Always look at who's selling the deck. AKMI is not Bill Greer's name, nor is it the publisher. This isn't even the right frickin' name. Lion Strider Tarot is not the Morgan Greer Tarot. Please don't buy from there. Be very careful on Etsy. See, this is mine and this is correct. When you go to Ethony, you'll see like it's mine. It's got my sales. It's got Vancouver, Canada. This is where I'm from. This is my site. This is my Etsy store. Okay. When you're on Amazon, you have to be really careful. And these are things, again, you have to look for. Who's selling it? This F. Curella. These are all counterfeit, stolen decks and wigs, apparently. So you need to look at who's selling them. So here we go. These are all rip-off decks. Interesting that this one has like, look, they've even left the author thing blank. Yikes. Cartoon character Halloween. Fucking hell. So you want to look at who is selling them. This is mine, and you'll see if you visit the Ethony store, this is my store. Everything is, look at that, all of it's branded, right? Everything is branded and looks like my stuff. If you see this is the Lightseers Tarot from Chris Ann. This is hers, okay? So we have Chris Ann's name, the ratings are there. If you scroll down, we have publisher information. If we scroll down, we see the publisher name, Hay House here. We won't see some dodgy deck. So these are things to be aware of when it comes to buying decks online. If you value any of our time and effort and artists' time and effort, just don't buy from any of the Shein, Wish, Fair, Temu, any of those. They're all stolen decks. They're all counterfeit decks. And if you ever have any questions about whether a deck is legit or not, reach out to the creator. So yeah, that's what you need to be aware of.